Welcome to Tokyo Wave, recorded in a live studio in Harajuku, Japan, with your hosts Aaron and Parker.
Alright everyone, welcome to episode 120 of Tokyo Wave. We're your hosts Aaron Randall
and Parker Allen. On Tokyo Wave, we bring you weekly updates from our studio in Harajuku.
Join us in segments featuring this week's top news,
political happenings,
business,
and other random garbage.
To get us started, here are this week's top news highlights.
Japan's October consumer prices rise 3.6%, the quickest in 4 decades.
Shohei Otani and Naomi Osaka among those sued in U.S. over collapsed crypto exchange FTX.
2 Peruvians accused of smuggling 10 kilos of cocaine into Japan in shampoo bottles.
This week in Japan. Alright, our first story. Japan's October consumer prices rise 3.6%, the quickest in 4 decades.
Kyodo News has reported that Japan's core consumer prices surged 3.6% in October from a year earlier, the fastest paced in about 4 decades, the government data showed on November 18th, providing fresh evidence of broadening price hikes that are hitting household spending and testing the Bank of Japan's resolve to maintain its ultra-low rate policy.
The Bank of Japan views recent inflation, prompted by higher energy and raw material costs and exacerbated by the weakening of the yen, will be short-lived. But the nationwide core consumer price index, excluding volatile fresh food items, has remained above the central bank's 2% target for the past 7 months.
The headline inflation figure rose for the 14th straight month following a 3.0% gain in September. The last time core CPI gained 3.6% was in February of 1982, around the time of the second oil crisis.
Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda was reportedly unfazed by the data, reiterating that its ultra-low rate policy is necessary to support the economy and achieve the inflation target supported by more robust wage growth.
Unfazed is a very polite way of saying appeared to not give a shit.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Energy prices, which had spiked amid supply concerns caused by Russia's war on Ukraine, have been stabilizing. The yen's sharp depreciation appears to be taking a respite after currency market interventions by Japanese authorities and amid market expectations of less aggressive rate hikes by the U.S. Federal Reserve.
Toru Suihiro, chief economist at Daiwa Securities, said that it's worth noting that prices other than food and energy are also rising, though the service sector is still lagging behind.
He also said the mindset of ordinary people may be turning deflationary despite accelerating inflation, looking for cheaper everyday goods and cutting back on spending. Doesn't sound good, Aaron.
No, it doesn't. Definitely this new news about the 3.6% increase in consumer prices is not good. But maybe it will help put pressure on Kuroda, Bank of Japan to, really do what they need to do with the yen.
Yeah, we can hope and we can dream, but I just don't see it happening. And when they did actually do something, it was kind of ineffective.
It was very ineffective, and I should have prefaced my statement by saying, and I've read about this recently, they're very limited on what they can do, and a lot of analysts say that even if they did make a major intervention by raising interest rates or selling off certain securities, it might not have any effect. And traders know this too, so Japan's in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, just gotta wait for the U.S. to hit a speed bump, I guess. That seems to be the Bank of Japan's quiet stance.
Right.
We're not hoping that you have a great recession, but it would really be very convenient if you were to, for instance, have a great recession, you know?
They're banking on that happening sooner rather than later, for sure. I think it might be a while out, though. I think the U.S. might be able to ride a wave of some kind of security for a while, by means of which I'm not sure how it's working, but it's a house of cards for sure.
Well, you know, the U.S. is always good at building those houses of cards, so...
For sure.
We shall see. And up next, Shohei Otani and Naomi Osaka among those sued in the United States over collapsed crypto exchange FTX.
Kyoto News has also reported that Los Angeles Angels superstar Shohei Otani and four-time Grand Slam winner Naomi Osaka were among high-profile celebrities who have been sued in a U.S. class action lawsuit this week over the collapse of major crypto exchange FTX.
The lawsuit, filed in a federal district court in Florida, the home of all great class action lawsuits, alleges that FTX's former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, and the celebrities, also including NFL quarterback Tom Brady and NBA superstar Stephen Curry, are liable for promoting the exchange and causing damages to investors.
You know, maybe we'll talk about this, but it's worth noting that although some of these guys are getting sued, Tom Brady had $490 million in FTX.
Whoa.
So he just lost $490 million. And he's getting sued.
Not a good day for Mr. Brady. I'm sure he's praying very hard right now.
While the total sum being sought by the plaintiffs is unclear, the complaint said, quote, American consumers collectively sustained over $11 billion in damages due to FTX. It also said the lawsuit, quote, seeks to hold defendants responsible for the many billions of dollars in losses they caused the plaintiffs.
Osaka and Otani both served as brand ambassadors of FTX, the complaint said.
FTX, founded in 2019, raised its profile by acquiring the naming rights for a professional basketball arena in the United States and by signing sponsorship deals with star athletes and getting them to appear in commercials for the exchange.
As one of the world's leading crypto exchanges, FTX's customers are thought to have numbered over 1 million.
But it filed for bankruptcy protection this month after facing a severe liquidity crisis.
Bankman-Fried, who has been seen as the face of the cryptocurrency industry, resigned as CEO.
I think he fled to the Bahamas, but they're trying to get him back to the US right now. Just a quick update. No, it's been really interesting watching this unfold live.
That was funny. I was going to make a joke about him fleeing and he fled.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He should have picked a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the U.S.
So there was rumors that he went to Argentina, but that was later declared to be fake news. This is wild. I mean, who hasn't been watching this story? So for those who don't know, FTX is a crypto exchange, which is not FDIC insured like banks are. So if you put your money into that and something happens, poof, it goes away. And a lot of these crypto exchanges, you know, they do the same thing that banks do, but they don't have any insurance. So people put their money into their exchanges, and then FTX and others use that money to make very, very risky deals, including derivative trading. So for those who don't know, derivatives are defined by Warren Buffett as weapons of mass destruction in the financial markets. So FTX is taking money from all these people, and then they're using the money to put into this derivative trading, and the money is locked away. They don't have access to it. So it creates liquidity issues very quickly. I think it was the Binance CEO, and he might have done this on purpose. He asked for a $6 billion payout for the amount that Binance had invested in FTX. And that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, because when they weren't able to pay that out, everything collapsed. It became very obvious that they had solvency issues. And lots of weird stuff happened too. Did you hear about they got hacked? They got hacked and a bunch of money was drained from the company, but it was an inside job supposedly, which a lot of people are talking about now.
Ooh, scandalous.
Yeah, so this is a wild story. I feel bad for Naomi Osaka and also Shohei Otani and anyone, that was kind of working with this company in a brand kind of way, as brand ambassadors or.
Yeah, it's not like they looked at the financials and they're like, all right, looks like you check out, so we will represent you.
It's not their fault. I mean, and I think a lot of people too, crypto exchanges are just so dangerous. If there's any hint of liquidity issues in any exchange, you 100% must take all of your assets out of there, right? They're so dangerous, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, of course, very mistakenly, that having their, crypto in a crypto exchange is safe.
Right.
But in reality, it is not, unless you take it off of the exchange and put it into a cold wallet.
Exactly.
So, aspiring crypto bros, you can keep on wheeling and dealing in that magic internet money, but it might be a good idea to get it off of an exchange.
For sure.
Top tip. You heard it here on Tokyo Wave.
All right, and up next, 2 Peruvians accused of smuggling 10 kilograms of cocaine into Japan in shampoo bottles.
The Mainichi has reported that 2 Peruvian nationals have been arrested on suspicion of smuggling 10.2 kilograms of cocaine into Japan by hiding it in shampoo bottles and other objects. Kansai Airport Police Station and Osaka Customs announced on November 17th.
Police and customs arrested Luis Alberto Nishijima Villavicencio, 41 years old, who is unemployed and has no fixed address, and Nilo Jesus Zapata Juarez, 36, a company executive who lives in Kosai, Shizuoka Prefecture, on suspicion of violating the Narcotics and Psychotropics Control Act.
The 10.2 kilo haul is apparently the largest amount of cocaine confiscated at Kansai International Airport in the last 10 years.
The suspects are accused of bringing the drug, with a street value of some 205 million yen, about 1.47 million US dollars, into Kansai International Airport on September 10th from Peru via the Netherlands.
Okay, I gotta say, this is the dumbest idea ever. Foreigners bringing drugs into the country in a haphazard way via the Netherlands. That's like the worst country to bring in drugs from. I mean, what are these guys like? I mean, seriously.
They're obviously amateurs.
I mean, how many stories have you heard about people coming in on flights from the Netherlands to Japan getting their baggage searched?
Oh, they're going to search it 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do because they know that the Netherlands is famous for ... drugs.
Right.
And tulips.
That too.
But mainly drugs. So the cocaine was found by Osaka Customs during a baggage inspection. Big surprise there. Nishijima has reportedly admitted to transporting the shampoo bottles and other objects, but was quoted as telling investigators that he didn't know they contained cocaine. He just thought, bath salts.
Yeah, I got these bath salts in the Netherlands. Pretty expensive bath salts, but heard they work really well.
I tested the bath salts and I was awake for days.
These bath salts, you don't really put them in the bath. You gotta shoot it up your nose.
Or if you suddenly get a visit from a friendly law enforcement officer, you have to flush all of the bath salts down the toilet really quickly.
That's what they told me when I bought it anyways,
Meanwhile, Zapata, who is believed to be a receiver, has apparently denied the allegations.
In a separate case, a man and woman from Suriname were also arrested on suspicion of smuggling 7.8 kilograms of cocaine into Japan in October.
Yeah, so they let the tourists back in and the drugs start flowing.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, you never hear any stories about Japanese people getting busted with large amounts of drugs.
I mean, I think it's just, I have friends in South Korea. We talk about this topic a lot because coming from the States, right? If you grew up, in the States, most likely you were, introduced to marijuana and all these other things. And I've got some really dumb American friends that thought it would be a good idea to bring drugs to Japan or South Korea. And I remember having to like yell at them on the phone. You guys have no idea how it works out here. That shit is so illegal. You will go to prison for a very fucking long time. And from what I've heard in South Korea, if you bring drugs in and they notice, they let you go into the country, and the secret police will actually follow you to see like what you're doing, to see, if you're connected to someone that blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's East Asia does not like drugs.
Sneaky. Secret police?
Yeah. Because they want to see, like, if there's someone else in the country that you're connected to, that you're handing stuff off to. Is this like tied to some criminal organization? It's actually kind of smart. I wonder if Japan does any of that.
Probably not.
Yeah. All right, and up next on Weird Thing of the Week, we're going to be talking about how more Twitter workers flee after Elon Musk's hardcore ultimatum.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Tokyo Wave.
The Weird Thing of the Week.
Oh, hell no! Okay.
The Associated Press recently reported on how Twitter is continuing to bleed engineers and other workers after its new owner, Elon Musk, gave them a choice to either pledge to hardcore work or resign with severance pay.
Some took to Twitter to announce they were signing off after Musk's deadline to make the pledge. A number of employees took to a private forum outside of the company's messaging board to discuss their planned departure, asking questions about how it might jeopardize their U.S. visas or if they would get the promised severance pay. According to an employee fired earlier this week who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation.
Guess he wants that severance pay.
That was one of the conditions in Elon Musk's statement, is keep things that are company secrets secret. Don't go out on social media and talk about it. But I mean, most of these guys, what do you think they're going to do?
I mean, they work for the place where people talk about stuff like this.
Right. So, it's where all the whistleblowers go.
I hear
right?
some of the employees, use the platform sometimes.
Yeah.
While it's not clear how many of Twitter's already decimated staff took Elon Musk up on his offer, the newest round of departures means the platform is continuing to lose workers, just as it is gearing up for the 2022 FIFA World Cup, one of the busiest events on Twitter that can overwhelm its systems if things go haywire.
Esther Crawford, who is remaining at the company and has been working on the overhaul of the platform's verification system, tweeted, "To all the tweeps who decided to make today your last day, thanks for being incredible teammates through the ups and downs. I can't wait to see what you do next." So they call them tweeps, huh?
That's funny too, because regular Twitter users call each other tweeps too.
I did not know. It doesn't sound like a very... Doesn't sound.
I never thought it sounded very cool.
No. Tweeps.
It's like a twerp.
Yeah, twerp. Exactly. That's the word I was thinking in the back of my head.
Yeah, so I think that tweeps is a portmanteau of Twitter and peeps.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Doesn't make it sound any less lame to me, though. Since taking over Twitter less than 3 weeks ago, Elon Musk has gone crazy again, booting half of the company's full-time staff of 7,500 and an untold number of contractors responsible for content moderation and other crucial efforts. Meme Meister Elon fired top executives on his first day as Twitter's owner, while others left voluntarily in the ensuing days. Earlier this week, he began firing a small group of engineers who took issue with him publicly or in the company's internal Slack messaging system.
I really hate that guy, Elon Musk. Grr.
And then Elon responds with a Shiba Inu that says, "You're fired."
Here's 1,000 Shiba coins.
They're worth nothing.
So overnight on November 16th, Elon Musk sent an email to the remaining staff at Twitter saying that it is a software and servers company at its heart, and he asked employees to decide by the following evening if they want to remain a part of the business.
Musk wrote that employees, quote, will need to be extremely hardcore to build, quote, a breakthrough Twitter 2.0, and that long hours at high intensity will be needed for success.
Sounds like crunch in the gaming industry. Also hardcore. That's such an interesting word to use.
Yeah, are they going to like have circle pits and jousting and
guys with like long hair that like droops over like one eye and it's like their hair is sprayed and
those are emo kids, Aaron.
Well, hardcore and emo are pretty tied together.
Right. And they have to like, write X's on their wrists. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
Hardcore. That's probably a meme somewhere already. God knows Twitter is going crazy with the memes. So in another email the next day, Musk backpedaled on his insistence that everyone work from the office. His initial rejection of remote work had alienated many employees who survived the layoffs.
Elon softened his earlier tone in an email to employees, writing that all that is required for your approval is that your manager takes responsibility for ensuring that you are making an excellent contribution. He added that workers would also be expected to have in-person meetings with your colleagues on a reasonable cadence, ideally weekly, but not less than once per month.
As of recently, the number one topic trending in the United States was, quote, rest in peace Twitter, or RIP Twitter, followed by the names of other social media platforms, Tumblr, Mastodon, and MySpace.
MySpace! Does MySpace still exist?
I think, but they had a major hack and like all of the data, or not all the data, but I think like 80% of all user data was just erased. They were actually, I think Justin Timberlake even put a lot of money into MySpace and a bunch of other like artists, and they were planning on turning it into a music streaming platform or some kind of music platform. They didn't have any really concrete goals in mind at the time, but that hack really screwed them up because, it sucks. When I grew up, I played in a lot of bands, and all the bands I played in had MySpaces, and that was kind of the online library of these old songs that we recorded, in people's garages and in studios. And when that hack happened, it really pissed me off. It made me really sad because nobody had like digital backup copies of those tracks. It was all from like the early 2000s and whatnot.
Yeah, man, MySpace. Whatever happened to you, Tom?
What is Tom doing right now? Maybe Tom never existed.
I think Tom is probably somewhere on a beachy island next to that FTX CEO, sipping on a Mai Tai and thumbing through the mountains of cash that he got from AOL Time Warner.
Potentially, yeah. No, this is just so wild. I hate to say it, but it's been really enjoyable to just watch stuff happen on Twitter in real time. Elon Musk himself tweeted, "Hey, watching FTX crash and burn on Twitter is so much fun." Right? Just talking about how the real time that Twitter offers, and Twitter itself is crashing and burning. Elon Musk is even posting memes about Twitter crashing and burning. So it's wild. But the daily active users have never been higher. So engagements and daily actives are up, I think, the highest they've ever been on the platform.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like one of the new topics on Twitter, and even in Japanese English-speaking Twitter circles, seems to be complaining about Twitter on Twitter.
Exactly. He kind of found this crazy, like, I don't know what you would call it.
It's like a mind hack.
It's a mind hack. Yeah. Get people pissed off about Twitter, so they go on Twitter and talk about how they're pissed off about Twitter. It's like Inception. It's like he fucking put everyone into Inception. No, it's Parker, I know you use Twitter a lot. I don't use Twitter a lot. I'm more, on other platforms. But the past couple weeks, Twitter has been such a source of enjoyment for me. I think probably you and other more experienced Twitter users, you follow certain accounts that have these kind of memes that maybe sometimes are, blocked by Twitter and whatnot, and you have to click through to see it. But me, I don't really use Twitter that much, so I don't get to see a lot of the good memes. I think what Elon Musk has done recently, though, is he's kind of, all the walls are down. So the fake accounts, fake news, memes, fake, trending. Last night, rest in peace, Jimmy Fallon was trending. And oh my God, it was the funniest shit. I had the worst day, but, I opened up Twitter and I just couldn't stop laughing. Even now, and they put rest in peace, Jimmy Fallon on top of other actors like Matt Damon. It was like Matt Damon, rest in peace, Jimmy Fallon. It's like, what the fuck? Oh man, it's a free for all, And most of these threads are coming from like Elon Musk or like other prominent people on Twitter, and it's just like an explosion of memes. We might be having like a
meme-olution.
Yeah, a meme-olution. Yeah, they're really good.
A meme for all.
A meme for all. I think because the memes are all out of the bag, out of the cage, and people making them can just put them out there, and they're getting so much visibility. So that's driving up competition, which is making the memes better and better and better.
It's like market capitalism, except for it works even better.
Yeah. They need to find a way to monetize memes. I mean, maybe someone listening is like, hey, you can already do that, but
it's called YouTube, bro.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like social posts, because certain memes are just so damn good. It's like, this is so damn funny.
Excuse me, Aaron. The correct parlance is that the memes are so damn dank.
Ah, okay. The memes are so dank. That's right.
Dank memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this, it's actually a Facebook group called Dank Memes Melt Steel Beams.
Oh, yeah. All they do is make memes all day.
And all they do is post like the most ridiculous memes.
So people that aren't on Twitter, and I think I said to you, Parker, before the podcast, I feel like Twitter has like turned into like modern Twitter and 4chan together now. Maybe it was always like that though.
I think it just depends on who you follow. I mean, actually, I use Twitter in a pretty innocent context. I use it to figure out what's going on in the world, keep tabs on important news. I follow most of the top journalists who are covering Japan
right.
for global news media organizations. And I really use it to gather insights and also post about nonsense, because whenever I post about work, nobody likes it.
No, you use it in a very professional manner. What I've seen though, like from, months ago when I tried to use it, and I don't know, it just wasn't clicking with me. The difference between then and now is on the popular posts from people like Elon Musk or whoever, it's the replies to those.
Oh, the replies are so good.
Yes, the threads that happen. And then Elon Musk and other people jump in.
They even got a name for them. They call them reply guys.
Oh, reply guys. Okay. Yeah. So the reply guy posts are at an all-time high right now, I'd say, with quality. It's out of this world.
And the ones with the most likes, IG, the funniest ones, go to the top.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I spent the past couple of days. I spent a lot of time on Twitter the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's addictive. I know this firsthand. Yeah, I got really active on Twitter when I was a full-time social media consultant. So,
oh, really?
I learned about, how the platform works and how it really differs from other major social medias. And Twitter is really a special platform, and I think it really has created this sort of interesting ecosystem. And, everybody says that Elon Musk is going to ruin Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't really care for or particularly dislike Elon, but honestly, I don't think anything's going to happen to Twitter. The engineer layoffs could lead to more of those whale messages that you see when the system is overloaded. So that would kind of suck. But, sometimes Twitter crashes and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, how many times has Facebook screwed up on you in your lifetime, right?
No, for sure. And I wonder how much Japanese users are aware and following what's happening in like the American / English speaking Twitter space.
I don't think they really care because, most Japanese Twitter users are anonymous. They say whatever they think. And, all these other, alternatives like Tumblr, Mastodon, etc., aren't really localized. So
no.
Even if there was some big upheaval against Twitter in Japan, they don't really have anywhere to go.
Right.
And for that matter, I mean, I've been hearing a lot about this Mastodon thing, but it just seems like another Clubhouse, right? It's like everything's going to be happening on Mastodon now.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up Clubhouse. I actually did have a couple good experiences on there the past couple months. But it's really rare, Clubhouse is really good for like the research, science, computer programming communities. They do some really cool, like almost like if you were going to like a seminar, right? They'll hold these like kind of research talks or, for people who are into this kind of stuff like me, like computer programming or game development. And they'll talk through it, with a lot of experts. And then they let random people, like me come up there and talk to them, which is really cool. So Clubhouse still kind of has that going on for it, but that functionality could be copied by any other platform. And I know Twitter and Facebook, back when Clubhouse was popular, were trying to copy that and integrate it into their systems.
Didn't really work.
No.
Yeah, I just think the whole, listening to a bunch of random people talk about some random topic thing, it had its day and that day passed.
Yeah.
I think it still has its uses for niche purposes like many social medias do. I mean, Pinterest is still alive and kicking, even though like its popularity in Japan never really took off that much, but it does have a loyal core user base.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, I mean, of course, as some people do move over to these different social platforms, I think it will encourage more people to look at other social media. And I think that's a good thing because relying too much on specific platforms is dangerous from a user point of view. It makes you too addicted to certain platforms and, leads to people being misled by fake news like, RIP Jimmy Fallon. And, you need to be looking at more diverse opinions on more diverse platforms.
Right. It's also dangerous to use one platform to, kind of have all your users and followers there. Because if your account gets blocked or whatever, or just the platform sometimes decides that, hey, your account no longer exists, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, TikTok is the worst about this. Like all these creators who got on TikTok and then they get shadow banned or perma banned or
I tried doing like music stuff on TikTok and I actually got a lot of views on a couple of these guitar videos. all my accounts that I've made have been like deleted. And I don't use TikTok that much, so like I would log in like once a week and check it, and it's like after a couple of weeks they just always get deleted.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but like TikTok is definitely the most volatile social media platform. It's like you never know when you're going to go viral and when you're going to get banned.
Yeah, one of my engineering friends, we were talking about the TikTok algorithm, and she said TikTok fucks your brain. And I don't know, I really liked that because I think it's very true. Actually, 11 engineers from ByteDance recently published how the algorithm works on TikTok. So they've open sourced and made it really public. And it doesn't use a lot of popular AI tools like scikit-learn or TensorFlow. They came up with their entirely new protocol and methodology to build a recommend system. So it's wild that you can, literally just interacting with the app for, 30 seconds, they kind of know exactly what kind of content you want to see and how to keep you on there.
Yeah, that's the terrifying thing about those algorithm thingies. They're complicated. They're designed to get you hooked. And unlike cocaine, they're not illegal.
I could definitely see certain algorithms being illegal in the future as much as cocaine is illegal.
You get caught at the airport with like an algorithm in your suitcase and it's like, I didn't know this was in my suitcase. I just thought it was a really long piece of computer code. I'm a plumber. My name is Mario. It's a me, Mario. Come on, guys. We're gonna have to interrogate you, so please come into this room with no windows, and I hope you enjoy cavity checks.
Oh my gosh.
Got to make sure there aren't any algorithms in there.
It is pretty wild and crazy just to watch what's going on with Twitter, to watch what's been happening with FTX unfold on Twitter in real time has been really crazy. I think it's going to set a new precedent for news and the way things are consumed by people because...
Yeah, and I just wonder if, casual crypto investors will ever figure out after all of these exchange hacks that keeping your money on an exchange is not a good idea.
Yeah. And not even the hacks. The owners of the exchanges pump all that money into the most risky assets and investments possible. It sucks. I got to say, not just myself, but other guests we've had on the show.
Yeah, I think, crypto and blockchain are really interesting technologies.
Exactly.
And there's so much potential for both in sort of, the future economy. But, all of these hacks and malfeasance and sort of people trying to make a quick buck by screwing over their users and picking their pockets does not give the... cryptocurrency or in a larger sense, even blockchain, the credibility that it deserves.
Yeah, there's way too many bad actors. Maybe people are saying like this is the apocalypse or whatever of crypto. Even the CEO of Binance came out saying, after what's happened with FTX, we're in deep. This is really, really bad. Maybe this will finally cleanse and get rid of all the bad actors, and we can restart somehow using this technology.
Yeah, because that totally worked for the finance industry.
Or what I was thinking the other day? Right now, a bunch of other exchanges are having liquidity issues because basically high investors in those exchanges are trying to withdraw to see if the same thing happens there that happened in FTX. And it's turning out that it's the same thing is happening. They have liquidity crisis, but and we might be kind of like, I don't know, this might be going too far, but with the .com thing in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were so many critics of websites, companies that were, publicly listed that had a random website, and everyone was like, this there's nothing at this company, right? Today, that's very different, right? We see websites very differently. If you have a certain amount of daily active users and signups on your website, it's considered to be extremely profitable and very valuable. But back in the early 90s, or back in the late 90s, before the .com bubble, that was not the case. People were very critical of, and I'm not comparing crypto exchanges to websites, but just the cryptocurrency and, crypto itself. We might be in the stages where a lot of these big players are going to drop off and disappear, and then we'll be left with maybe 4 or 5, kind of like the .com thing. We were left with, Amazon, Google, all the big tech companies that we have today.
And this just in, Elon Musk has tweeted that they're going to make Twitter coin.
That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, once it starts getting weird and wild, the only direction it can go is weirder and wilder.
Oh yeah, it's going to get way weirder, for sure.
What's going to happen next? Stay tuned.
Hey listeners, that's right, you listener right there.
Who do you think should be our next guest on Tokyo Wave? Let us know. Drop us a line at wave@tokyowave.jp.
We hope you enjoyed Tokyo Wave.
If you haven't already, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Join us again next week on Tokyo Wave.